Today I'm excited to share the DIY spring wreath that I made for our front door this year. To make this wreath, I started with some foundation, greenery, and stems. I used two varieties of eucalyptus for this particular wreath. One of the eucalyptus stems was a stem that I had already had, and another was one that I purchased from Hobby Lobby a couple weeks ago. I absolutely love asymmetrical wreaths. So when I make my wreath, I start with the center point between 7 and 8 o'clock, and then I build up 2/3 and down 1/3 to create the asymmetrical shape that I like. I do not like to use hot glue when I make my grapevine wreaths each season. I just take the stems and I push them through the grapevines to secure them. This is another thing I do so that I can use the stems for different things all year long. For the new stems that I bought from Hobby Lobby, I tried to cut them as long as I possibly could. This way, I will be able to use them in different ways when I'm all done with this wreath. I think by having a variety of these green stems, it creates depth and dimension for the wreath. After I'm done with my foundation of eucalyptus stems, this is when I pull out my large focal point flowers. This year I decided to go with blue for my flowers because I have a fun idea that I will be able to use this wreath in the spring and all through summer with just a super simple swap in a couple months. At this point in the project, I used the rule of thirds and I only used 3 flowers, 1 hydrangea, which I already had, and 2 roses or peonies, I'm not sure which, that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. And I put them in the shape of a triangle at the center point of my asymmetrical wreath. Once I have my large flowers where I want them, this is when I start using filler flowers. Filler flowers are flowers that I use. They're usually smaller than my big focal point flowers, and they just kind of add a little bit more variation and a little bit more dimension to the wreath. Honestly, this is how I create flower arrangements in vases or buckets or baskets as well. The final thing that I did after I had the wreath filled with flowers and the eucalyptus stems is add ribbon. If you remember from my DIY fall wreath, I used fabric that I just ripped and turned that into ribbon, and I still had fabric left over, so I pulled it out and used it here. After I had the ribbon ripped, I went ahead and folded it in half and added floral wire around the center. Then I took that floral wire and I used it to secure the ribbon to the wreath. I still have some fabric left, so in a couple months when summer's here, I'm going to rip a couple more strips of ribbon from the fabric, dye them red, and then my wreath will be a red, white, and blue wreath all ready for summer. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel, I hope that you hit the subscribe button down below. I'll see you next time.